Here on WNVC Channel 56 for Virginia Legislature 84 Capital Events.
I'm Mike Hounshell, and this is my first television interview in 1984 for my solo album, Sometime, Somewhere.
We're back live on the Green Room, and we have a very young recording artist with us who had sent us his album, and we were very impressed with him, and we wanted to play a cut from that today. And we always like to help people who are aspiring musicians and theater-type people here in the Washington metropolitan area get established both in this area and in New York and beyond. And Michael, it's a real pleasure to have you with us. Congratulations on your album. In just a minute or so, we're going to hear a cut from it, and I'm excited about that. And I wanted to ask you, well, thank you. I wanted to ask you if you'd be so kind as to write a theme song for our show.
Sure.
Would you be interested in doing that? The name of the album is Sometime, Somewhere, and if you'd like to have a cut from it, you'll hear that today. If you'd like to have a copy of it, I guess you can contact you, and we'll give a number before the end of the show, and then give you a call. It's been played in Texas, and hopefully we'll get it on some other radio stations around the Washington metropolitan area. But you're a fascinating guy. You play piano, guitar, bass, and you've been doing this for about 10 years. Do you think in order to be successful as a musician, you really have to have the versatility of being a good singer and playing several instruments?
I think you just have to, you have to have a way into a band to begin with.
You think a band is necessary? A lot of people make it as solo acts.
But they have to start out working with other musicians, and you find out so much through working with other people. There's something you have to learn from everybody. Mm-hmm. And it helps a lot if you're a songwriter, because then you can experiment with bands and you can kick around your ideas with them and get feedback from them, and it's kind of a workshop in a way.
Most of the songs that you have on this album you've written yourself, is that correct?
Yes, all of them.
Okay, so you're a songwriter, you're a musician, and you're a singer. How tough is it to make it in this industry and make a living at it?
It's real hard. There's a lot of competition out there. There's a lot of people that are willing to play for free, and
John Denver did that.
Yeah.
For quite some time. He used to play in a place for free and said, look, I just want the work, before he made it. Certainly you can't play for free if you want to make a living.
No, unfortunately, you have to make the rent.
What happened about 5-6 years ago? I guess in terms of performers, individual performers and bands, it was real tough because the disco movement came in, and a lot of clubs, which traditionally had featured groups, all of a sudden were playing PA systems and trying to save dollars. And then things got kind of, attendance went down, and now they're back more to groups. But it was tough for performers during that 5-year hiatus, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I had to play in a lounge act, and I had to do the whole bit where I wore a tuxedo and played all those disco songs that people were going to discos to hear.
How do bands feel about disco songs? Especially drummers. It must have been tough on them. Well, it was the same beat for every song.
It was basically like, you had to put your tongue in your cheek and then sing a Donna Summer song and kind of bear with it.
How old were you when you first picked up your first instrument and decided, look, I want to be a musician?
Well, I started writing songs when I was about 5 or 6 years old, and I'd sing them into a tape player and bring them up to my father and say, what do you think, Dad? What do you think? And
what do you say?
Never mind.
That can work two ways. Obviously, if you're encouraged, you go on to do more. But then again, if you're discouraged sometimes and you're a tough kid or a tough adult, you go on and you try a little harder. So it can work both ways. It can discourage you, too. I mean,
with me, it just
made you want to do it more until you got the right dad. Where certainly with the dad, you want to please him, so he probably knew the right philosophy.
Oh, yeah.
When we talk about writing songs, there are probably a lot of people out there that want to do it. What is involved with writing a song? You write down, obviously, the melody line. It's not just picking out 4 or 5 chords on a guitar and you have a song and you write the lyrics down. There are processes, are there not?
The only process that I can think of is an inspirational process. You'll just be somewhere that will be very very sad, and you'll start hearing a real tasty melody, and it'll just kind of stick with you. And if you keep that in your head until the time you get to an instrument, then you've pretty much got the basics of a very good song. If it's something that'll stick with you for a long time, then it's something that will probably stick with someone else. Usually if it's something along the lines of a chant and then you formulate it into a familiar phrase. I wrote a song called Said and Done, and I've written a song called Back Where We Started All, songs that are very conversational, like things that you can say to someone else that don't sound so bizarre. And
so it really does come from the heart. But in order to have this song accepted and to also copyright it, you have to at some point lay a melody line down, do you not?
You have to, these days, you have to have a cassette recording to make copyright.
Is that all you need, really?
Yeah, you need to.
And you can send that into the address downtown, whatever it is, and that constitutes it.
Yeah, from the minute you put it on tape, it's in all actuality copyrighted. Yeah. You don't have to write any lyric sheets out. You don't have to.
You don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, although I did go to college for that, and that helped a lot in the manner that I could hear a melody and without picking up an instrument.
In terms of the copyright laws, though, at some point, if you have recorded a song and sent it in, and it's been copyrighted, and I guess there's some official paperwork they send back to indicate that you've been given the copyright. I'm not familiar with that, but assuming, of course, that takes place, and then at some later point another song is recorded that you think is very similar to yours, they're going to have to sit down with those two tapes. They're going to have to look at music lines or melody lines. You're going to have to submit at some point, or someone's going to have to analyze the two melody lines to see how similar they are.
This is true. It's usually done with music lawyers, though, and you can be ripped off and never get a penny from it. And for one thing, titles can't be copyrighted, and melodies, a lot of I could think of a few songs on the charts today. A lot of them are direct rip-offs from other songs.
You actually have two ways of really making a living at doing this. You can record your own music and try to keep pushing yourself, or you can take recorded music, things that you like, and you can send it to other stars or to the agents of stars and kind of hope for the best. But I've heard that's a tough road.
Yeah, it is. I mainly want to sign a major record contract. I've gotten letters and things from publishers, but I'm not really interested in having anyone else sing my songs. I think they lose a lot in their expression.
Okay. We're going to ask Matt Miller, our director, if he'd be so kind as to cue up the song that we're going to hear today, and we'll be hearing Give It All. Is that correct?
Yes.
Where did this song come from in terms of inspiration?
It's just one of these songs I heard in my head, and I sat down at the piano.
Does it mean give it your all, give it everything you've got, try your best? Is that basically the theme?
Yeah, sure. You only live once, you might as well.
Now, this song's interesting because you are singing and you're playing all the instruments except the drums. Is that correct?
Except the drums and the lead synthesizer part.
Okay, and anybody familiar with music knows that, of course, you record these tracks separately and then the music is mixed later. Yeah. And that's how some musicians can actually record the audio, all the instruments and the singing as well. That's a versatile musician. Are we ready to take a listen to Give It All? Will we be able to hear it in here, you think? Okay, marvelous. You're so good, people. Okay, let's take a listen.
No surprise, got nothing to hide. Tell me straight, it's only fools games. My love, so give all you got. All you got.
Very nice. I'm impressed. The high voice, I would have never picked it out because you have kind of a lower register type of talking voice, and yet the high singing voice, the instrumentation was very nice, very pleasant.